Oh, hello. Well, you've just caught me potting up my last tomato. These have been on the kitchen windowsill and then I've been hardening them off, and I'm just going to pop them into a bigger pot for a couple of weeks, and then they'll be outside in their permanent planting positions. So remember, when you're fetching them out of the pot, give them a good squeeze and just check the root system. You know, this has got a really nice root system on there. It's definitely not pot bound. I'm just going to drop them into a bigger pot so that they'll put on a lot more growth, and they'll be a bigger plant once they go outside. So quarter fill your pot, folks, when you're potting on, remember, and pop that in the centre. Try and keep it in the centre, and then scoop fill and turn your pot as you do. So scoop around the outside. Whenever you're potting anything on, use this method, and then firm it in. Okay, and that's nice and stable now. And again, scoop fill around the outside. And then remember, leave that watering gap at the top. That's what that lip is there for in your pot. When you see the pot construction, that's what the lip is there for, and that will help you to water your plants and allow water to sit on the top of the pot and actually percolate down. Now we'll pop those with the rest, and as you can see, we've got 5 of the tomatoes. These are Roma, so these are going to be almost like a plum type tomato. We've got Charlotte's broad beans doing really well, and a couple of extras, and my runner beans now that will go out towards the end of this month, around about the middle of May at the moment. They're doing really well in their toilet roll tubes, and again, they're in the potting shed now, so that they'll just slow down a little bit, and then they'll go out in a couple of weeks time. Now I'm already thinking about my potato plot, so middle of June, around about a month's time, I'm going to be harvesting potatoes, and then I'm going to have a plot of land that I can actually work with. So I'm thinking about the sort of things I can actually put into that plot once the potatoes are out. And one really nice crop for you to grow, especially if you've got children, is courgettes. And I've got some courgettes here, and these are called Black Beauty, and they're fantastic. Courgette seeds are wonderful seeds. They're big, and you know, children can get their hands around them, and they've got a pointed end, look, and they've got a flat end. And what we need to do with the courgette is actually push them into the compost around about 1 inch down in the compost, pointed end down, and try and keep them vertical and upright. We don't sow them flat because sometimes they actually rot if they're sown flat. So to actually do this, you're going to need to germinate them again on the windowsill, and you'll need a pot about this sort of size. And we're just going to basically fill the pot, firm it in. Now you don't need many courgettes for the average family, so probably 2 courgettes are all you're going to need to feed the family for most of the summer. And then basically pop a hole in the centre of your pot, around about 1 inch down. There it is. And then pointed end down vertically, pop your courgette in, and then just firm in. And basically that's the job done. We'll do that again for you guys. So again, pop a pot, make sure it's well firmed, and then effectively just a hole in the centre, around about 1 inch down, and then pointed end down, pop it in vertically so it's standing up, and there are your courgettes done, and those will feed the family for the rest of the summer. Now the other thing that I am looking at is some sweet corn, and sweet corn are a fantastic plant to actually grow, and again, their seeds are really unusual. So again, get the kids involved with this, it'll be wonderful. They look like a broken dog's tooth to me, so that's what they look like. There's the seeds for your sweet corn, and again, you don't need many, and we've got a micro allotment going on here, haven't we? So you don't need many seeds at all, and smaller pots are best. Now we're going to fill these up to about 3/4, and then we're just going to drop a seed in, pop it into the centre, and then we're just going to literally pop about 1 inch of compost on top, and there's our sweet corn. Do one more for you. So 3/4 fill your pot. So we've got around about 1 inch, and then pop your seed in top, and then put compost on top, and job done. Now I will do around about 6 to 8 sweet corn, They need to go on a warm kitchen windowsill to actually germinate, but then we can plant them outside effectively after the frosts have gone. And they're better planted in blocks, sweet corn, rather than rows. So we'll have a couple of blocks of sweet corn going on. We'll have some courgettes going on once we've got our potatoes out of that plot. Now, thinking about potatoes, we need to just take a look at what's happening in our pots and on our potato plot. Okay, so as we walk outside, we look at our buckets, and you can see instantly these have grown really well. And the last couple of days it's been a bit frosty, and once we get to the beds you'll see that I've had the fleece out protecting some of the plants, but these are ready to be earthed up. And the reason why we earth up is because it stops the light from getting at the tubers, turning them green. Once they're green, they're poisonous. So it's quite a simple process. So what we need to do here is just get some compost into the pot itself and literally earth them up. Wait until those stems are around about 6 to 8 inches, and then we earth them up. And remember, just tease back, look, and tuck around the back. Don't forget, around the back of the actual plants themselves. So tease them in and earth them up. And again, that will force the plants to put on some new growth. And once again, once they get to about 6 to 8 inches, we'll earth them up again. Now, there you go, that's those done, ready and waiting. They'll grow on now and should be producing us a really good, plentiful crop of potatoes. Don't forget, we'll pop our label in. Now, there's a certain smell in the air. Can you smell it, folks? That would be borage. So yes, I've started to harvest my liquid feed, and here it is just behind me, folks. Come and have a look at this stuff. It's liquid gold, that's what it is. And if we had smelly vision, you could smell it. So let's take the top off. Now, around about 3 weeks ago, we actually popped half a bucket of borage in there, filled it up with water, and effectively we've made this wonderful green gloopy solution here. And I've got my old pop bottles, look, and I'm literally just decanting this liquid now. There's virtually no foliage left in this liquid, and it does smell quite rancid at this particular point in time. So we're just going to fill these bottles up, and instantly within 3 weeks I've made my own liquid feed. Now, must label these bottles and keep them out of the reach of children. And Bear and Molly were quite interested in the smell, so keep them out of the reach of pets and dogs and cats and things like that. And if there is any foliage left, then effectively you can just compost it. So there you go, we just decant it a little bit, pop the top on there, and then we'll label those. Okay, and I've still got roughly half a bucket left. Now, nettles I've already done, look, and that's how much I've got from decanting the nettles, and the tea will be done later as well. So from half a bucket of nettles, half a bucket of borage, I've now got a range of liquid feeds that I can actually feed my vegetables, and we'll be starting to do that. Don't forget that the ratio for nettles and borage is 1 part nettle or borage to 10 parts water. So that's what you have to reduce it down to use it safely in the garden. Otherwise you'll scorch the roots off your little plants. Let's have a look at my potato plot. Here we go. And the potatoes, as you can see, these are second earlies. I've had the fleece on these the last couple of days, but I just wanted to show you the watering technique that I actually use, because what you don't want to do is get water on the actual leaves themselves. So I normally start low to the actual soil, and then just literally water around the plants and try not to get any water on the foliage itself, because at this time it's warm and it's wet, and effectively blight is around. You don't want to cause incidences of blight if you can help it. So do try not to get water on the leaves of your potatoes as you're watering them, and you will need to water every other day. Even when it's gone chilly, I still give them a little bit of water. The carrots now have been fleeced, but not because it's been cold. This is to stop the dreaded root fly, carrot root fly. And remember, we're on lockdown, so I've only got fleece. Enviromesh would be the thing to actually use here, but fleece is just as good and stops those dreaded flies from coming in and laying their maggots in your lovely carrots, and that's what spoils your carrots and causes them to be all manky. But look here, I've actually thinned these out, folks, and we've got around about an inch in between the carrots, and you can see there's some crafty weeds that are coming in here as well. So we've got some crafty weeds that are just trying to sidle their way in, but that carrot crop is well underway now, and the fleece will go back on them, and that will stop the carrot root fly. And then I will put an open barrier. If you've got something that's 2 feet tall that stops as a solid barrier, that will stop root fly from actually coming in, because they can't fly any higher than 2 feet. So you can actually you know, stop the incidence of root fly if you put a 2-foot barrier around the top, or cover with enviro mesh if you can actually buy some. Now, we have approximately 30 days worth of growth here in the lockdown allotment challenge, and it's very close to harvesting time for some of the things that we've actually done. So behind me I've got my salad leaves, and you can see the crop of salad leaves is actually coming along really well. Now these are called cut and come, and if you plant and prick out closely, then what you will do is you'll stop weeds. You'll actually allow moisture to collect at the base of your crop, which is a good thing, because it'll stop you from actually watering so often. But it's virtually time to start harvesting these. Now, if you want to use these as a cut and come crop, then what you don't do is take the centre out of the actual plant. Take the outside leaves, but not the centre, and that will carry on producing leaves for you, and you can grow these crops right the way through the summer as a cut me and I'll come back for you. That's basically what cut and come actually means. So take the outer leaves, not the central core, and then effectively you'll have radish and salad leaves for the rest of the summer months. So next week I'm going to be harvesting these for my salads. And one final thing I'm going to be harvesting, which I promised you 3 weeks ago, we popped some onions in, didn't we? And we've got some onions in the carrot bed, and it's now time to actually harvest these out. So these onions here, if you can remember back, we actually popped in closely so that we can actually harvest them as a type of spring onion. So roughly the spacings that we should have between our onions to make sure we've got those lovely golden onions for burgers is around about 2 to 3 fingers between each. So these onions here, you see, if we give them a little tug, they come out the ground and you've got a salad onion. And again, give these a little tug, and there they are, folks. Wonderful stuff, look. And then we can take this one out, look, harvest it through, and look at that. There you have them, folks. There is your salad onion. Give it a wash off, take off the outer casing sheath, and you've got a lovely batch of onions you can actually use in your salads. And it's almost making me feel hungry to actually sort of sit here with these things, and I'm ready for a really good munch. Now there's your 30-day update for the lockdown allotment challenge. Lots more to come. Keep on watching, folks. More fascinating facts and lots of gardening tips to come as well. But most of all, keep gardening, and I'll see you next video along.